Hi, my name is Angelo Lopez. I am a cartoonist and an illustrator based in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I have the very deep pleasure today to speak to two wonderful friends who also happen to be great writers and illustrators, Cindy Chang and Laura Bost. Today we'll be talking about, oh, I. Today we'll be talking about Cindy's graphic novel, How to Draw a Secret, as well as Cindy's and Laura's experiences as writers and illustrators. So, as I said before this talk began, it's wonderful to see you both again and stuff. Hey.
Yeah, thanks very much so much for
Oh,
Yeah,
setting this up. It's so
yeah,
fun
so
to
much
see you
fun.
both.
yeah. So, okay, let me start. First question. Just a beginning question. How did you both become interested in creating children's books and graphic novels? And who are some writers, illustrators, or graphic novelists who've been inspirational to you both?
Laura, do
Oh,
you want to start first?
Oh, I was going to do the same thing to you, Cindy. Gosh. Like, no, you first. No, you first. Um, all right, since I got voluntold to go first. So what was inspiring? It is hard for me to pinpoint one in particular artist or thing. I would definitely put right up there at the top, though, Maurice Sendak and reading
yeah,
his and seeing his styles. And in particular, right, almost everyone knows his book,
Where the
Where
Wild
the
Things.
Wild Things
Yeah.
Are, but he has many others like Outside Over There. And I
Yeah.
remember looking at the illustrations, which are very watercolor with ink and line in comparison to the hatching and the shading of Where the Wild Things Are, and going, the same person made these? Well,
Yeah.
that's cool. Um, and I've always also been inspired by really realistic paintings. In fact, I've got one of my, still inspires me today books. Hang on, I'm going to reach for it. Right. So here's one I would say of another of my early just inspiring art. I really love this sort of style where it's almost realistic, but more so.
Oh,
And
I've
so
never heard of Mary Lee Ayer. Is that her name? Mary Lee?
Heyeer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know a lot of her other works, but my aunt, who's also an excellent artist, gave this to me when I was a kid. And
Oh,
so, that graceful line, there's so many things. And I think I loved that I loved looking at a book and never being sure sometimes as a kid whether it was a picture or an illustration. And so I think that was a major thing for me. And then separate from that, my family has always loved stories and tells stories or reads stories or goes to storytelling festivals.
yeah.
And so I think that that's part of it too. Just, I don't know, somehow intrinsically fun. And now, Cindy, it's your turn. You better start talking.
All right, yeah, I gotta look up some of these illustrators as well. Yeah, I think for me, I grew up really just loving writing and drawing. I think mostly a lot of drawing. I did a lot of doodling, and I think I would make like little worlds and characters of like whatever I was drawing. So, name all of the characters I was drawing. They had little backstories, and even within a scene, like there'd be a lot going on, and like having kind of a story of its own.
Oh,
I read a lot of like Berenstain Bears growing up, and
Oh, yeah.
mostly like just the kind of world, I guess,
yeah.
world building, and like there's a lot of pictures of like food that I often gravitated toward. I think as I got a little bit older, Roald Dahl, I really loved
Mm,
his
Yeah.
stories and Quentin Blake's
Brendan
illustrations.
Blake's
I think,
illustrations.
yeah, just
Yes.
so kind of expressive. Um,
Yeah.
let's see. I liked a lot of like Louis Sachar's books when I was a kid.
No.
Sideways
Yeah.
Stories from West Wayside School.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, I
yeah,
remember those, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
The
Those are
story
I
just
about
didn't
the
like
I didn't
so
raincoat.
so
recognize the
Yes.
name
fun.
at first, but then I know the title. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
Oh,
So
and doesn't that one have the story about the person drawing cats and speed versus, is that there's a story, and I think it's in that series about this one person who keeps on drawing cats fast, fast, fast versus someone who's drawing a cat carefully. And that one stuck with me. Anyway, regardless, sorry.
Yeah, it sounds plausible. I mean, there were so many, it's just like so inventive.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There were so many books in that series, right?
Yeah, there were definitely a couple of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I was a children's li I worked in the I was a page in the children's library in the 90s. I
Mm.
shelved a lot of those books.
Burned into your memory.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. So, okay. Next question. What is your writing process and illustration process? And for your illustrations, are you still doing art on paper or are you now doing art on tablet? And I guess
Okay,
Cindy, you can go first. Yeah.
better go first, Cindy.
Me. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm sorry. I'm like pointing at where you are in the square on my
Yeah, I'm
screen. Who
like,
knows where you are in other ones? So should I point down
no.
to get to you,
Yeah.
Cindy?
That's right.
My process, let's see. I work mostly on the iPad these days. I used to do a lot of like traditional art, but then when I was like moving around, I like didn't want to just have a bunch of stacks of things and was more portable to move to the iPad.
Hmm.
So I actually had a like tablet that I plugged with my computer and then switched. But yeah, I start mostly just by like drawing little snippets, like little doodles, maybe like a character. Sometimes I like there's like a piece of dialogue that might come up or a couple like sentences and I'm trying to like craft the scene.
Yeah.
Um, for that I kind of switched. I don't really have like a standard process. Sometimes I like just find it easier to draw it on paper and like get it out, of my
Yeah.
system first and then like transition. So yeah, it's still like something I like playing around with. And yeah, then like once we get to a certain fidelity, then I like move everything to the computer and the iPad. Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
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 What about you, Laura?
I find that it does vary, and that if I try and hold to one process too preciously, that I tend to stall myself out. So one of my personal ongoing challenges is not to stall myself out and to figure out how to keep on going.
Oh,
And so I think that mostly my most successful way right now is, and it does depend a little bit on the project, right? There's some
yeah.
projects, especially if you're like, okay, it just needs to happen. Starting straight at the iPad going forward makes sense. But I
Yeah.
find that, like with the murals that we did, over at Westside Elementary School, it was very useful because I was surveying students about what would you like to include in this school mural that you fifth graders are going to be painting and I'm going to be supervising. And
Yeah.
so that would end up with like little sketchbook paper doodles. And then I would actually scan that into scan, take a photograph with the portable scanner devices that we call iPhones,
Yeah.
and then load that into Procreate and then resketch over it. But not trace it, sketch over it, which funny we mentioned Quentin Blake a little while ago. That's a technique that I remember learning from an interview with him
Yeah.
about, well, what do you do to make your things seem so loose and
Yeah.
yet so well posed? And he said, well, I do it, I draw my image, and then I will use my original image to figure out my layout. I'll put it on a light board so I can see through it, but I won't trace it. I won't trace it. I'll then just draw it again, but now I know more where to put it, and I'll do it again and again
Yeah.
until it's laid out, but it's still loose. And I
Oh.
went, oh, not trace the tracing? Brilliant. Um, so moving back and forth between traditional and digital media has been really useful. And I know that when my kids were smaller, I was doing a lot more prioritizing of the digital because it's small. They can't tell when you've switched from doing your work to drawing on it. Not that
Uh-huh.
I've ever done that.
Oh.
Still working. Mommy's still working.
Yeah.
But now that they're a little bit older, because mine are hitting the teenage years, I can actually have paints out and not worry about thumbprints in them. And that's a nice change.
Yeah.
And makes it go a little bit more back towards a variety instead of iPad.
Yeah. Did you like the collaborative process with the kids?
Oh yeah, that was super
Oh,
fun.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was really cute. They came up with things that I simply didn't expect at all. So the mural that I'm talking about, and I don't know if you have the ability to splice in images later or if we need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
share it now. We
Yeah.
see it.
Well,
Um,
I put it in the gallery. It's
Great.
yeah. So
But it's this fun mural that came about from this collaboration with a big giraffe galloping in, and then there's other creatures as well, and like a giant dragon. And so the students in particular, there was one who really wanted to design their own little dragon too, and did all the, I put up some hoops for them to jump through so that not every kid then wanted their own special dragon. But
yeah.
this kid did it. They designed their own art and like, can I do this one?
Yeah.
Oh boy, yes, we can. And
Wow.
so now there's two dragons. And then another person wanted an axolotl. So we definitely got an axolotl. I'm sitting there going, I was thinking land animals that were all on the
Oh,
land. All
I
right.
actually don't. What is an axolotl? What is
It's
that?
a salamander creature.
Okay. Okay.
And it's usually in water. I don't know if it always has to be in water, but
Oh,
water. And then another class wanted an octopus anyway. So we
uh,
definitely needed to
yeah.
The solution was that the tortoise was hauling along a red wagon that has an aquarium in it and a fishbowl in it, and that's how our land creatures are helping our water creatures get to the first day of school. It'll all work out. I'm sure it's fine.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, I'm curious. You guys have okay. For me, I have sketchbooks, and
Hmm.
if I don't, sometimes I get an idea and then I sketch it because I know 2 hours later I'll forget the idea and stuff.
Yes.
Do you both have a ton of sketchbooks
Oh,
with ideas?
absolutely. No, I can see three from where I'm sitting right now.
No, okay. Yeah, how about you, Cindy? Do you have like a ton of sketchbooks then too, or because is it scraps of paper you're doing stuff on, or is it sketchbooks?
Or the iPad.
I I used to have a sketchbook that I probably should have one actually, but I kind of just like grab whatever paper is around me and
Oh,
I doodle on that. But I do have a lot of sketches too on my iPad that I like just keep there as well.
okay, yeah, yeah. I just have sketchbooks. I think during Christmas, that's one of the things I always get because I kind of try to subtly request it in November and stuff. But yeah, do you guys like look at an old sketch and then it revives an idea for you both, or
I would say yes, although honestly, I have not flipped through old sketchbooks in a while.
okay,
Um, I think it's always interesting when I do, I simultaneously have that, oh, I'm a stronger artist now since then. And sometimes like, oh, I was better than I thought I was back then, both of which are kind of
uh,
that fun duality. But yeah, absolutely, I flipped back and gone, oh, that was a good idea. Maybe I should do something with that.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
try not get cross at myself for having not done anything with it. So that's
Yeah, I
that's
do
the
that
flip side.
sometimes just because sometimes I just don't have an idea for a painting or no,
Yeah.
but I want to stay in the habit of drawing or painting stuff.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah,
How about you, Cindy?
yeah,
Yeah, I definitely like look back at old drawings sometimes and try to get like ideas. Like maybe there's this character that I was drawing a lot and maybe like they have a story or something. There's actually one that there's like a dinosaur that I have
yeah.
from a few
Uh-huh.
years ago that I still need to figure out how to make into a story of their own.
Like, all
Yeah.
right, we can talk stories now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of which and stuff, since you're talking, Cindy, to tell us about your graphic novel, How to Draw a Secret.
Yeah, for sure. So this is my graphic novel. Anyway, you'll put a picture
Oh,
that's a little blurry. Anyway, it's called How to Draw a Secret. It is based on my own life. And so in the book, it's about 12-year-old Cindy who really loves drawing, and she, is passionate about this until she's stumped by an art contest prompt, which is what family means to me. And this is really challenging for her because her dad moved back to Taiwan 4 years ago. Her parents kind of like told her and her sisters, her two older sisters, to keep it a secret, and they never talk about it. So Cindy
Hmm.
kind of struggles with this idea of like what is her mom and dad to each other, and what is her dad to her. And she kind of like can't talk about this to anyone. So she's trying to figure out this drawing, and things get a little bit more complicated when she has to travel to Taiwan for an unexpected trip. Her grandma passed away, and basically more family secrets get revealed, and there's a lot of drama, and Cindy's kind of dealing with this complicated emotions and
Yeah.
things that happen on this trip. And she has to figure out how to kind of, draw from her heart, share her own secrets. So she's kind of, trying to figure out and going on that journey.
Wow.
So yeah, this is based on my own life, and I really knew that I wanted to kind of make this story. It was something that I've been thinking about for a while. And I'm just excited to have, be able to share it with all of you and with readers, and hopefully like invite more people to kind of share things that are close to them too with people around them, and like open up some dialogue about things that can sometimes be a little hard, and family things like that. So yeah, and also, you both were super pivotal in my journey to write this book, because you guys saw the very, very first early editions before it was even anything,
It's
an
so good.
idea.
So
Yeah,
good.
I felt
So yeah, you guys made into the acknowledgement. Hopefully you saw that.
Laura, do you feel
Absolutely.
like a
Yeah.
proud parent in a way? Because both of us saw the whole process, right? Do you feel, I kind of felt that way. I kind of felt, I don't know why. I felt like a proud parent when I heard that your book was coming out and stuff. So,
Yeah.
Maybe an auntie.
Yeah. There are
Uh,
definitely a
I think
lot
it's
of you
super cool.
guys' imprints on here.
So
yeah,
The
yeah.
dialogues, things like that we all work through together.
I think that's one of the things that was super fun for me to see. Is like, I recognize that scene. I recognize the changes we talked about. Not only did
Yeah.
she do what we said, she totally ran away with it and did awesomeness. By the way, both my kids read it. Like the night I brought it home, I had to like steal it back from them at least twice. They loved it.
Oh,
They quite
yay.
enjoyed it. And then one of them went, Mom, your name's in the back. Like, yes, I
Yeah,
helped a little.
Yeah.
I helped a little.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cindy,
So,
for the book, was it emotionally healing in a way? Because both doing in the act of creating the book was healing. Is that true or?
Yeah, for sure. It's been like it was a journey that took maybe like 6 years to make. So I think in that process, yeah, I definitely did a lot of like it's kind of like art as therapy in a way, and
mhm.
working through this story
Yeah.
was healing for me. Also like sharing it with my family too was healing in a way to just kind of open up some dialogue about things that we like never really talked about.
Mhm.
I feel like I got a little bit closer to my mom too, and she kind of like would share stories of the past in the process.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's
And
neat.
also just being able to like verbalize it with other people, like, working through it with you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of like, you know, I think in a weird way, like trying to make these real events into a story too, like helped me to kind of look at it from a more like detached lens.
Yeah.
And that was also kind of nice to be able to like process it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That makes a lot. I mean, and it's so interesting because it's the opposite of now being secretive, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
like,
the
here it
exact
is.
flip.
Look at it.
Like,
Yeah.
not a secret.
Yeah. It's
Do-
out there.
Yeah. Do you hope
Yeah.
it's kind of a healing thing for other readers too? Because other readers may go through similar experiences, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like I'm looking back to, so one of the reasons I wanted to write the book was, well, I think we'll talk about this later, but I went to this children's book writers and illustrators conference at
Oh yeah.
SCBWI, and there was a
Mhm.
author named Meg Medina who was talking about like remembering what it was like to be like 8 or 10 or 12, and kind of these questions that you had that you didn't know how to answer, like what were you kind
Yeah.
of struggling with? And
Mm.
um, I think looking back, like I wanted to write the story that I wish I had when I was like 12. Because
Yeah.
these are things that like, I don't know, I didn't see it in media when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so I think hopefully, it'll be in some ways nice for readers to read it now, and maybe healing for people, or who might be going through something similar.
Mhm.
That's actually one thing that I found interesting when I was like in having the book be out. Like people I would talk to would be like, "Oh yeah, like this happened to me too," and like these are the people who are like in my life,
Yeah.
or like people I meet who yeah, I'm like, wow, I didn't know that
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
just there's no vehicle to really talk about it, and also you kind of just realize like, oh, it's actually not that uncommon, or it's something that
Yeah.
everyone is kind of struggling with
Mhm.
too, and so kind of like connecting people, I think,
Yeah.
as well.
I think it's going to help me helpful. I know with me, libraries were like a godsend to me
Oh
because
yeah.
I found because oftentimes you find when you're young, you're going through these struggles and stuff, and because you're young, you don't know how to articulate it yet.
Hmm.
And when you find a book, when I was a kid, I would find books that would help me articulate things that I was struggling, So like
Yeah.
even though this is a personal experience with you, there's also a universality about it and stuff that other people can relate to. So I think I was wonderful and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
And I bet you're going to get a lot of family secrets told to you.
Well, yeah.
A lot, a lot.
Have you done any book tours yet or any talks, or is this the first?
Um, I went to school, but I did a school visit this past week actually. Yeah, and
Oh,
it was really fun. It was my first one, and then I did a book launch a few weeks ago at Linden Tree,
oh,
Oh,
close by in
great.
Los Altos. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that
I
was
used
fun.
to work there in Linden
Oh, you
Tree.
did? Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Dennis and is it Dennis and I forget her name, Dennis Ronberg, right? And his wife, God, I forget his wife now. They were very nice and stuff. It was a wonderful place to work, but I worked there for I think 1 or 2 summers and stuff. They were very nice.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So you're lucky and stuff. It's a wonderful bookstore.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Yeah, the current owners I think are Chris and Flo, and they're like just super welcoming, and it's a really
Yeah.
nice community that they've built. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Linda and Dennis Ronberg and stuff. Because that's why Linden Tree, Linda
Ha ha
and
ha.
then Dennis and stuff. So,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
So
Yeah.
I guess they're
Uh,
not. I guess they're not owners anymore. I guess or
Yeah, I think they changed owners a few years ago.
did
Yeah.
it feel really awesome to be going to your own book opening and
yeah,
seeing all the
yeah,
folks
yeah.
there for you?
Yeah, it felt honestly it felt really weird. Like I was like
Weird.
signing
Oh,
books, I was like, I feel like I should be on the other side of this table.
Yes, right.
Um, so yeah,
Well
anyway, it
done.
was just like this funny feeling.
oh yeah. But get used to it though. I mean, because you probably because this isn't going to be your only book. You'll be doing other books and stuff, right? So.
I hope so.
Hopefully, yeah. I'm working on another one. Yeah, it's a long game for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
right.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
not fast to get a book out, especially when you've got a little kid and a full-time day job, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Little
So
pieces.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's
Step
the
by
Yeah.
step.
topic of your next one?
So I think I use these books to like explore things that are like top of mind for me, right? So
I'm sure
this
no
book
other authors do that.
yeah, I'm sure.
Great. Perfect.
Yeah. Um, So anyway, the second book is not going to be a sequel to the first one, and like it won't be nearly as, autobiographical.
Hmm.
But I'm interested in exploring this idea of like what success means,
Ooh.
and this concept of like enoughness, or not being enough. I think
uh,
I sometimes struggle with this, and I think I read this book called Never Enough, actually.
Hmm.
I think it's by Jennifer Brenner Wallace. Anyway, it was very, very good. And I think in becoming a parent too, just trying to think about things that like I wish, again, like things that I wish that I struggle with that I wish like I had a book for, or
yeah.
that I wish I knew about earlier kind of in
Yeah.
life. And so, yeah, it's still in the early stages. I'm still kind of like trying to figure out the story and the outline and all.
Hmm.
But it'll be another middle grade graphic novel.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, we look forward to it and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And if you need any help, let us know.
Yeah. Maybe we
Oh,
gotta workshop it again.
oh, okay.
Here, happy to help. Always easier for me to like chat about other people's stuff than my own work. So
Oh, yeah.
always
Speaking of
happy.
which, okay. Speaking of which, Laura. Okay. Now that it's your turn, I guess. Okay. Um.
Yeah, hot seat time, Laura.
I don't have a graphic novel that just came out. We can talk
Oh no,
about this the whole time.
but
It's all right.
okay. This two-part question. So
Okay.
we will talk about your coloring book and stuff, but
Oh, sure.
how did you become interested in dragon art? And could you tell us about your coloring book, 31 Delightful Dragons, which
31
I
Delightful
think I see
Dragons.
I think I see it
Yes,
as
of
well.
course. Of
Yeah,
course. I've
yeah.
hid it in my bookshelf, right? I
Yeah.
have to admit that it's mine. Um, yay, if anyone wants it, it's available on Amazon.com still. And how come dragons? Well, I think it's a couple of things. But the major one, I think I've told you, but we'll tell the audience, no one could tell me I drew them wrong. I was always really sensitive to really wanting things to look the quote unquote right way, and any criticism over it not being right really was, oh no. And so if I drew a dragon, people could say, whoa, that's a cool dragon. They couldn't really say, are you sure that the scale pattern is not actually more variegated than that? Or something like that. So I also just found them fascinating because they had so many different representations in different myths. You could have
Oh,
a kind, wise dragon that might give you some sort of pearl of wisdom. You might have an evil, scary devil demon dragon that's just there to uh, run off with the princess and eat all the sheep in the kingdom.
yeah.
So I really liked how they spanned the mythos. And so whatever mood you were in, you could match it to a dragon. So I think that was the major thing. And then when I was in all of sixth grade,
Oh,
we had an assignment where you were supposed to make a children's book with your little kindergarten buddy. And I put a dragon in that children's book.
oh,
Um, and I don't know if it's the kids' idea, the littler kids' idea or my idea. It was probably my fault, but I'm not sure. But I really wanted to get that dragon right. And I studied how to get that really well. And I drew it really super carefully. And then everyone claimed I had traced it.
oh.
And I was so cross that then I had to draw a bunch of different dragons in different poses doing different things to fully refute the accusation of and so then
Oh,
yeah,
so
it
your
was
dragon thing was sort of a cry for innocence in a way.
mm,
Yeah,
right, the preservation of
of your integrity, I guess. I don't
this is mine, I swear. I claim it fully now. Um, so yeah, so and I still enjoy them to this day. I love the idea of a large, powerful creature that might be on your side and knows more than you do, and might have a hoard of gems and jewels, or it might just want to have a nice cup of tea. So
know.
I just think they're fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and you
yeah.
have so many different kinds of dragons and poses in your coloring book.
Yeah, they're just way fun. And
Yeah.
I do like it whenever I find out that someone has happened to grab it. Let's see, where's the camera? Yay! So,
Yay.
it's what? It's not perfect, but it's an awful lot of fun, which weighs up. All right, they get up to all their things. So, if anyone needs coloring for small children or adults, it's still available.
Oh, okay. Okay. Actually, one question I need for both of you. How do you purchase your books?
Mine, you can go to Amazon.com. You do have to very much type in 31 Delightful Dragons
Oh, okay.
or Man by Laura Bost. Otherwise, you won't find it because I don't pay for any advertising.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
And oh, I did notice I had a knockoff version for a little while. That was fun.
Oh,
It
wow.
actually
Oh, wow.
got copied and it was like very similar name. I can't remember what it was now, but it was the same number. It was dragons. It was like fantastic instead of delightful dragons, and
Yeah.
a month of delightful coloring fun. It was like they switched the title around by one. I was like, whoa, good
Oh,
job, scammy internet.
yeah.
That's so funny.
I was like, of all the things, guys, I'm not selling that many books here. But I was very glad to get that out, and thank you.
Yeah. You know you made it when you get scammed.
Yeah, like the imitation is the
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
flattery.
Valerie,
Yeah.
no, it's fun, but I haven't been really doing much with books or book writing lately, similar to what you were sharing, Angelo. I definitely have that feeling of needing to have more cohesive focus in order
Yeah.
to really get something like that done. And I'm back to middle school teaching, and there were some other things last year that really were difficult. And so
Mm.
hopefully more even keel this year, and maybe especially over summer, because summer is that long, well, it always feels short, longish
Yeah.
space of time that school teachers get where we can have that exhale and dive back into some art making, I
Yeah.
hope.
I'm the same way because I'm caregiving, right, and
Yeah.
stuff. So most of the only thing I really do nowadays is political cartoons, just because it only takes a day or two to do them.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
quick and stuff. But at some point, I want to get back into it too and stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, but I think I'm always inspired by Grandma Moses, because she started
Mm.
at the age of 79.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Isn't that amazing?
I'm only 58, so I have a few years.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah. So,
and
okay, go ahead, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, and I hope that you're managing to get some respite and remember to
Yeah.
figure out how to take some time. And if we can help, let me know.
Oh yeah, sure.
So,
Okay.
as
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
art's always important and it's a long haul, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah.
Cindy, where can we find your book?
Yeah, so you can buy my book online, Amazon, Bookshop, I think Barnes and Noble or Books A Million also have that. Or yeah, your local indie bookstore,
Bookshop Santa Cruz, they
bookstores
got it
around
for me
you.
really quick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And we know that Linden Tree has a few copies, right?
Linden Tree has it. Yeah, locally Books Inc. I think has some.
Yay, Books Inc.
Does
Yeah.
Hickleby's bookstore?
Hicklebees, yeah. I actually went to Hicklebees a few weeks ago and signed some books there. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
they're
Yay.
awesome. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the screen, I'll put links. So when you talk about where to find the books, I'll put it like a little thing in the bottom showing where it is and stuff. So,
That's great. Thank you.
okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back. And I guess my next question for you all is just why are critique groups important?
Ooh. Um,
I don't know who's
Otherwise I would
starting.
make no progress. Cindy, go.
Yeah, I mean, Laura said it right. I think they're good for accountability,
Yeah.
for sure, especially when, life happens and everyone has
Yeah.
their own things going on. I think it's really nice to have these like touch points and people that, you're going to meet up with regularly and having
Hmm.
that kind of like social pressure in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, yeah, like, it's kind of lonely sometimes when you're just working on an idea by yourself or maybe when you're stuck on something. So it's always helpful to have people you can like verbalize it with and kind of work through some things together.
Hmm.
So I know for me, like in working on How to Draw a Secret, definitely meeting up with you both was super helpful. Even in the beginning, when I mentioned before, like there was not a story, but it was just like, here's this idea, and like,
Yeah.
don't know, what do
Hmm.
you think? And just
Well, finding the
you
heart
know,
of the story, right? I
exactly.
remember
Yeah.
that was a lot of the early labor on this one was figuring out
Yeah.
what is it that is going to resonate both with you and with your audience.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Yeah.
that outside point of view helping one refine the image of what you're trying to express. Because I'm sure you've all had this experience having done enough writing point where you're like, okay, I'm reading this story and it's going to resonate in this way. And your audience goes, like, oh, that's not what I expected to happen. I thought it was really okay, try again. And
Yeah.
then figuring out, is it because whatever that moment is was a little too unique for you in a way that doesn't actually matter so much to others? Or is it just that you didn't manage to push the note that you were hoping to hit all the way down? So yeah, that feedback,
Yeah.
that moment of, now you can cut that out, especially too, right? You don't need that bit for me is useful. Or you missed some orienting information because you thought everybody knew this, and that's so useful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know with me and stuff, you both helped me in a way because I was the person who I wanted to write quickly so I can get done with it so I can draw and stuff. And you forced me to actually
Yeah, I
focus
remember
on the writing.
that.
Writing was not fun for me and stuff. And so you forced me to actually focus on the craft because I just wanted to get it done just so I can get do the art immediately. And you forced me to think like a writer, which is not natural for me and stuff. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but
Oh, go
right, but
ahead.
that's a skill that you've developed and you've pulled further forward. And for me, it was pulling forward the illustration skills. Like I felt like I had more writing skills, but I wasn't managing to actually make the images I wanted. So yeah, right. It's that need having those eyes and that balance and that outside voice to go, all right, keep on going. And as you keep on going, pay a little more attention to this aspect of your craft without losing your own path,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
So
it's
okay.
fun, right? And it's fun, right? We're all talking about the
Yeah.
lonely
Yeah,
part a
yeah.
little bit, like
And we
having
took
other
field trips. We
people.
took field trips, remember?
Yeah, well, come back
Yeah, that
anytime.
was so fun.
I've got this super fun like lighthouse that I keep on meaning to go draw.
Oh,
Come and go.
Is it Pigeon Point? Is it Pigeon
No,
Point?
no, it's just Abbott Lighthouse. It's like 5 minutes away from my house. It's just really cute.
Oh,
Mm.
okay, okay.
And there's like a little coffee shop there.
Uh,
You should really come.
oh yeah, yeah, maybe. But if I
But
do come, it would have to be a weekend and stuff. Yeah.
absolutely. I've got weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Usually it's weekends anyway for me too, right? So, but having other people who are willing to sit and chew on, should I use the word the or the word in this sentence, right? How does that affect the tone of this character if I say it's green versus if I say it's
Oh.
green like the forest in the late summer as the light comes through the leaves just before they turn, right?
Yeah.
It's really fun to actually have people who are like, no, we care enough about what's going on in a story and we understand that it matters to the story versus
Yeah.
one's darling families whose one loves who are like, well, I think it's fine, that looks good,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
great work. Yeah.
That resonates strongly.
Right, because boost tourism is important, right? Yay, do it is important. um but so is the compliment sandwich with real meat in the middle, where you're like, yeah, I need to sink my teeth into that and chew on it because they're right. It's not quite where I need it to be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yay, critique groups. Everyone should have five.
Yeah, and Cindy, it was an honor to be a part of. Actually, for both of you, it's an honor to be a part of both of your processes. You know, being a part of that helped me realize, gosh, I got to be a better writer. But
Well,
also
we're
So
here to
much
help.
learning on all fronts. Yes.
Yeah. And that's also
Yeah.
right. You don't have to be a better writer alone. We don't
yeah,
have to be a better illustrator alone.
yeah,
Like literally one of the things I did with one of my buddies was, hey, we're not making enough art total.
yeah,
How about you and I make a Zoom appointment? And for a couple of weeks over the summer, I think for a full month or two, it was just, we're going to turn on Zoom so that we can see that we're there.
yeah,
And during that like hour and a half, you're going to tell me what's your one goal. What are you going to try and do in this next hour and a half? And we would
yeah,
sit there and we'd like turn off each other's like our mics, right? But we could see that we're actually writing. And it was really useful for both of us. It made things keep moving.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. So okay. Next one. Yeah, okay, and this one I'm going to incorporate your question about uh, um, doing talks for
Hmm,
for book talks. But my
so
question
cool.
was, both of you guys did presentations for the Sunnyvale Art Club, and I want you both to know they were both very well received by the club members.
How
So
fun.
yeah,
Oh.
so I mean, one of the things like it's a two. I'm going to make it a three-part question. It's a three-part. But the first part, what do you both enjoy about presentations? Part two, how would someone contact you if they want you to do a presentation for their group? But the third one, I'm going to incorporate the question Cindy had. How would you prepare for a talk for like a junior high audience, a bookstore or whatever? I don't know because I've had a talk for a junior high once and it went very awkwardly.
Oh no.
So I'm not sure, but I'll open the three questions up for you all and stuff. Maybe we can discuss it and stuff. What do you for I guess whichever one you want first is what do you like about presentations and how can somebody contact you?
Cindy, you've got these coming up.
I
Do you want to go
can
first?
I can go first. Yeah, sure. So yes, I do enjoy giving some talks and presentations, mostly as a way to just be able to connect with people around the story. I think being able to share kind of the process behind it too a little bit or talk about it kind of gives you more of an insight and connection to me as an author too. And so in a way, it's just like kind of like sparking dialogue, which is going back to kind of why I wanted to write the book, like one of the reasons I wanted to share this story. And so yeah, if people want to kind of schedule a talk, I have my website, cindychang.com. There's my email on there. I have a page as well for author visits. That's something that I want to be able to do more of, being able to talk to elementary school students. I think my book is often, I think, trying to schedule some visits with like third through fifth graders mostly.
Fun.
But yeah, also, I'm doing a couple talks too with some high schoolers in a few weeks, or with adults. So very happy to talk about any part of talk about the book with any kind of audience.
Yeah.
And also taking advice too, because this is a new muscle for me to flex. And so I'm going to be going to the North Texas Teen Book Festival actually
Yeah.
next weekend too, and hopefully meeting a lot of other readers and authors and
How fun.
illustrators. So yeah, just being able to chat with them, learn their stories, learn from other author illustrators too about all this. Learn from you, Laura. How do you kind
Yeah.
of talk to middle schoolers or upper elementary school students?
Yeah. Laura, do you
Might
have
be a
any
good
advice on? Yeah,
segue.
yeah, yeah. Do you have any advice on that, or?
Well, let's see. So many things just came up. Where do we start? Um, I would say that for people who are going to be giving talks at the elementary school, absolutely call your person who has started to book you. So call them so you can find out more about what is it that organizer is hoping will happen during the talk. And for me, since mostly what I've done is not talks but draw alongs, because that's an awful lot of fun, making sure that one knows what the size of the venue is. Am I going to be using a microphone? Am I going to be talking with a small group who might want to really have ownership over what we're doing, like a real, like straightforward activity? Or is it more just let me tell you about something? Um, and I personally really appreciate it when I can have the audience doing something, not just listening to my story. So whether it's sketching something for a moment, like you can do a fun thing where like, all right, left hand side of your room, cover your eyes. I'm going to put a drawing prompt on the board, and you do something like the first drawing prompt is draw your favorite food. Right, and that side of the room is looking, and the other one's is covered. And then you're like, all right, now hide your eyes, other side of the room, other side, look. And I changed the prompt just a little bit, like worst food ever or least favorite food, food you hate. All right. And then have everyone take a moment and draw something and then guess what the prompt was for the other group. Right. So something small where then they're getting more involved in an artistic process and seeing themselves as creators of content, because that's kind of where a talk by me tends to go. I made I make some cool things. This is kind of how you also might consider jumping into yourself as a creator and an artist. So that's where what I would say is that be very aware of what your audience needs. Younger they are, the more interactive, right? And especially middle schoolers, they're really, really trying to figure out who they are at that time. And so something that gives them the opportunity to have some ownership or action. And when in doubt, shorter is better. And of
Nuggets
course,
of gold.
right? Well,
Laura, for
yeah,
you, what do you enjoy about presentations and stuff? I mean, is
I
it
like
basically
it.
that?
When I can tell there's an aha moment, when you can tell that whoever you're interacting with has connected with what you're trying to convey in a way that has um, opened them up or led them further or had them dig deeper, and hopefully also have had fun. If you can make the audience laugh, you know that they're with you and on your side because they're having that moment of camaraderie.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would say open up with something short and relatable, that's likely to be a problem that they themselves are having. I would say don't try and use slang you don't know, unless you are doing it on purpose to indicate that you don't know it. Um, One of the worst presentations I ever saw, a poor gentleman was trying to give some sort of social emotional health thing and was talking about how everyone has a tude in middle school. And apparently that's supposed to be slang for attitude. And it
Yeah.
sure wasn't in our high school, so that lost him any credibility he'd hoped to have entirely. Um, so yeah, so be the best version of who you are, but don't try and be an age that you're not or someone that you're not.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, show up, small anecdote, make them laugh, jump into an activity that has something to do with what you're trying to convey, something super easy that is maybe requires nothing at all. But if like for us, if there's something small that they can draw, that can make sense. The flip side is then they're going to be messing with their pencils the rest of the time.
Uh,
Um, so there's a back and forth, unless your teachers collect them again for you. Um, but yeah, overall, what does it have to do with them? Have something very specific in mind that you're hoping to convey or for them to get out of it. Questions to your audience, if possible, that you can respond to back and forths. Because again, right, when they see that you're genuinely relating in and out, they're more likely to think, oh, I need to say something. Um, be animated on purpose,
yeah.
right? Big smiles and vary your voice, vary your inflection, write out a couple of little things in advance that are your key talking points. At the end, summarize back to whatever those are. Um, tell them how great they were and go.
Yeah. Hey, Laura, you did, the club members loved your thing because it was participatory, but
Mm-hmm.
okay, both of you, if you ever want to promote your stuff, the Sunnyvale Art Club has YouTube videos of
Mm.
truncated versions of both of your talks and stuff. So feel free
Uh,
to use those videos. But also
thanks.
for Laura, how do you, okay, somebody sees your video and wants you
Mhm.
to do a talk for them. How would they contact you?
I also do have a website. I believe it is laurabost.com,
Okay.
spelled Laurabost, and then .com. And I can also just be emailed directly. And I don't know, I can tell you that out loud. We can put it up later, but my email address is a Gmail account, sparksfromfire@gmail.com, all one word, no spaces.
Okay.
So happy
Okay.
to field things and happy to do Zoom or in person. And I do enjoy it. Sunnyvale Art Club ever wants us back again, happy to do another draw along. It's just fun. It's good fun.
Okay. Yeah. Cindy, was that helpful and stuff? I mean, like, yeah, because
I
I
took
don't,
copious notes. Thanks,
yeah,
Laura.
yeah, because my thing was, I went to class twice, but I was talking about political cartoons to high
Mm,
schoolers and stuff.
yeah.
And then one of the things I went to one in Oakland and one in
Hmm.
San Jose. The
Hmm.
teachers were wonderful, but I think they both realized I'd never speaking to a high school audience
Hmm.
before. And so one of the things they told me was just to ask ask questions of the audience. What do you guys
Yeah.
care about and stuff? But that's for cartoons. For political cartoons. I don't know if that's the same as like for your kind of book and stuff. But that might, if the audience looks at you awkwardly, maybe you can ask the audience questions about. So what are things that you care about? What are your own personal
Hmm.
experiences? That might be, yeah. I'm not a good person for advice because my two experiences talking to a high school audience were kind of awkward.
Yeah. And Angela, were you in a large auditorium or just a classroom? Because that's
It's
one of
just a
those really,
class, just a
yeah,
class. Yeah.
yeah. Because if you are in just a class, then rather than a talk, I would absolutely say do a talk plus demonstration.
Oh,
So
okay.
that,
I
right, so
didn't
they'd
think
be
of
like,
that.
what's
Yeah.
a political cartoon that an octopus might write? And then the whole classroom can
Okay.
draw a political cartoon for a moment. What's a political cartoon that would be appropriate? And because it's politics, you have to be careful because they're probably going to go with something with the school.
Yeah.
Um, and that is actually, if it's an advanced class, a really useful conversation. What is a political cartoon that you could put in your school's newspaper
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be
That's a good idea.
important, but wouldn't get you in trouble?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a nice prompt. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that they could dig in deep on that one. But you would want your teacher to know in advance that that's the plan, and then they will have supplies for you.
Yeah. And I don't
Right.
want to get in trouble. So,
No, but I mean, but again, right? That's different than if you're like, well, these are ninth graders. It's going to be the whole school's auditorium. No, no.
oh, okay.
These are our folks who've been taking a couple of art classes with me. This is our advanced cartooning class. Yes, absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So
I
get a
think
sense
I
of your
think the
size.
awkwardness was basically my own inexperience and stuff. So yeah, but
Mhm.
it's okay. I'll still do it if anybody's willing and stuff. But yeah, I would
Well,
I have to improve and stuff. So okay.
Uh,
Okay.
and isn't
Oh,
that great, right? That means it's a challenge that you can step into and you will do it differently next time. And now you know
yeah,
more,
yeah,
right? You never have to do it for the first time again.
yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. So, okay, okay, okay. Next question. For both of you, what is the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, and how has SCBWI helped you both?
Mhm. Um, Cindy, I think I've been talking first a lot. You go.
Yeah. So Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators is a great group of exactly what it says in the name.
Yeah,
They have a lot of chapters, I think, around the world actually, and there's a
Yeah.
bunch of local branches who are very active. It's all run by volunteers, and so they basically help connect everyone because writing and illustrating can sometimes be lonely. You're just at home, you're maybe working through things, and so creating a community to share resources with, to learn from each other. There's a great like print resource. I think they call it like the book or something. And there's
Hmm.
a lot of stuff around like how do you actually get into the industry, like resources on finding agents or the publishing process, which again can be kind of opaque,
Hmm.
especially if you're not in it. And also can be kind of slow sometimes, and everyone has like very different experiences. And so it's just helpful to have other people you know that you can connect with to like
Hmm.
learn about the craft and be on this journey with you. I know the local branches like have a couple like key kind of events throughout the year. So there's like Illustrators Day. There used to be, I think, the Asilomar Conference, but I
oh
think
yeah,
maybe it's
yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah.
1 day thing now or something. I don't actually remember.
Oh, okay.
But there's like meetups and stuff, and you can find critique groups. I think we all got connected through
Yeah.
an Illustrators Day 1 year.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So yeah, and then they have like two big conferences, like in the summer and the winter. Usually in LA for the summer, and then
I think in New
New York
York.
for the winter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I went to the summer one actually one year in 2019, and it was like really life-changing for me. That was when I went to that talk with Meg Medina, and
Mm.
like there was like a big illustrator portfolio showcase, but just kind of like these talks were so inspiring and getting to like meet all these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and just like children's book people are like the nicest people you can meet and hang out with too. And so like I'd only ever been to like tech conferences beforehand. It's just a very different vibe. I was like, this is my group of people. It was really nice. Uh, so yeah, super helpful. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
what
And
was your
uh,
experience like?
very similar to what you said. I mean, we did all meet each other at one of the SCBWI conferences, so we wouldn't know each other. And that insight into what goes on in the industry and what things you can control and what things you can't control. And then they also, in addition to community, they're very helpful at helping you find agents in terms of folks who are agents are often presenting at the conferences. And if you've been to one of their talks, they are more willing to look at a submission from you. It's not like, oh, yes, now I will be your agent in any way, shape, or form. But there's that little bit more access and a little bit more awareness of who these agents are so that you don't accidentally also think that you found someone who's an agent only to find out that they're a pretend agent or someone who's actually doing vanity books where
Uh,
they'll get you published,
yeah, yeah.
but they're not to market you. They're not to one of the big publishers. It's more, look, you got your little book and you actually paid for it versus you're going to eventually get paid now that you have gotten published. So very, very rich resource group.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I'm glad I met you both at Fort Mason. Was it Fort Mason?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
found out I'd bought one of your paintings, which was hilarious, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a weird
I
coincidence.
was like, wait, I know who that is because I own your painting.
That was at what was that coffee shop,
A bean scene. I bought it
the
at Bean
bean
Scene.
Painting,
scene. Yeah,
yeah.
in
Yeah,
Sunnyvale. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's because it's an
Now,
awesome painting.
yeah, now that I'm more older and steeped to pride, my memory, like sometimes I can't recall words and stuff. That's
Oh,
happening
aphasia.
more
Yeah.
and more.
Yep.
No.
Oh,
Just
okay.
when you get more sleep again, it's all going to be all right.
Well, one of the things I'm learning, I enjoy naps. That,
Hmm.
that sounds
Naps are
weird.
great.
Yeah, I'm napping a
Big
lot more
fan.
now.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And after,
In my 20s, I had all these ideas of adventure, but now in my 50s, the thing I look forward to is a nap. It's kind
ooh.
of, I don't know if that's just a sure sign of age, but
Well,
oh,
it's also a sign of like what do you really need right now? Like what is the thing that you want to fill? And I think that might not always be a nap, but right now it makes a lot of sense that it is a nap.
yeah, that's true. That's true. So,
Me, I keep on thinking about swimming. I want to go swimming. Where can I go
yeah,
swimming?
yeah.
Mm.
Oh, Cindy, do you
In
have
the
that
beach,
one? Oh, sorry.
in the beach, I guess, or
Was somewhere warm.
oh, okay.
I'm so spoiled. I'm like, I'm in California and it's still too cold.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe go to like Hawaii or something.
Yeah.
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 Well, go to Kauai. Kauai is a
I,
beautiful island.
interestingly, I am going to Kauai not too far in the future for a little dance conference that I'm going to be going to. Because
Oh,
dancing
cool.
is my
Ooh.
other
You're dancing in it? Conference?
yes. Yes,
Wow.
that's my other what
What kind of
semi-professional.
dance? I'm so curious.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of curious too.
Well, we're going to do a piece with swords balanced on our heads.
Oh,
So
Whoa.
okay.
technically it's belly dance. Technically the dance that I do is belly dance. Specifically, I'm with a troupe called uh Desert Desert Jewels. Or did I just say that wrong name? Anyway, I'm with a troupe that is a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And what we will be presenting at this conference is sword balancing. So we'll
Wow.
be running around with swords on our heads. It'll be, and I'm just assisting the person who's teaching it. I am not the primary teacher, but I'll be there and I'll help her out. So
Are
it'll be
these
fun.
like big swords? I mean, I mean, I can, I can
I can
picture
go run
this.
and grab one later, but yes, they are. They are like big
Okay,
swords.
okay.
I
Yeah, I
promise.
just discovered this thing called shuffle mamas, where these two women do the shuffle dance, and it looks like so much fun. I'm going to try to learn how to shuffle dance and stuff, just for exercise and stuff. So, okay, okay, skip that.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. We don't even need to necessarily include that in the final edit, but you can if you want. Just
Oh no, no,
yes,
I'm
I get to
keeping
go
it
to
in.
Kauai soon, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, yeah. I don't do very many edits and stuff in my videos.
Oh
Okay,
man, it's on the record forever.
okay. So, okay, last question and stuff. Okay, what are your future plans? Well, okay, what are some future projects that you are planning on working on?
Hmm.
You can add the dance with the architecture.
Well, I've been enjoying doing murals with students and high school students, so I won't be surprised if that happens again. That being said, I don't have a set plan or schedule.
Right.
I also have plenty of little book ideas that have been running around, waiting for their attention and for their time, or fading off into the distance, depending. So over summer, I'm hoping to move something forward. I'm not sure which project.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, looking forward to seeing wherever you get to in the
So
summer.
long as it's
Meet up
somewhere, right?
again.
So long as it's moving.
Yeah.
How about you,
Yeah.
Cindy?
For me, I'm working on that middle grade graphic novel idea that I talked about before with the what success means and how, you might think it means something, but it actually means something different. So yeah, and then I want to work on some picture book ideas too, but yeah, I need to figure out this graphic novel first. But it's been fun to like see my son growing up, and like I feel like there's like
Yeah.
little ideas, that are
Oh,
coming
yeah, yeah. I was
here
going
and
to ask
there.
that.
So
Does your son inspire stories in you?
yeah, I mean he's just like this ball of energy right now. So it's just so fun to like see how he grows and changes and just the different things he gravitates to every day. So I think there's going to be a story with, him as an inspiration source down the line, maybe in
Hmm.
my picture book days.
Yeah,
So yeah, it'll be awesome.
yeah, yeah. Will he be one of your characters? in the book or no?
Yeah, maybe. I think my mom lives nearby, so she sees him and she's like, "Yeah, you got to figure out how to work him in." And because like he used to have this really spiky hair, and so she's like, "I've never seen a baby like is like that." And anyway, I think he will definitely show up one day.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I do have some ideas for and stuff, but I haven't worked on them. I had this idea for a graphic novel and stuff, but two movies
Mm.
came out with the exact same plot, so I'm
Oh
wondering if I
no.
should give up. Yeah, it's about this nerdy guy, and he finds out his wife is an assassin and stuff, and two movies came out with the same plot and stuff, and I'm thinking, should I continue with this and stuff if it's already out there and stuff? And I have this other idea of like doing a series of, you know how in a culture, every culture, there's a food that the people in the culture love, but
But others don't.
the
Mm.
people outside the cultures hate and stuff. So like
Hmm.
in the Philippines, there's something called balut, where if you open
Mm.
the egg, you see the chick, right? And
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Filipinos love it and
Interesting.
stuff, but people who are not Filipino tend to be grossed out by it. And
Yes.
my wife
Wow.
is, yeah, my wife is Swedish, right? And there's something called
Oh,
lutefisk.
yes. I knew you were going to say lutefisk.
Yeah, yeah. And so I was thinking like just for like a series, find out the those kind of foods. So like, balut for Bob, lutefisk for Linda, or
Oh, that's
Ah,
cool.
the
so
alphabet of
it's like an
unpopular
odd way
cuisine.
of like introducing people to different cultures just by having the kids eat foods that gross them out, right?
Love it.
So I don't know what so Mexican. I don't know what's or Canadian. I don't know different cultures and stuff. But I
Somebody
have that
must
idea in the
know.
back of I have that idea in the back of my head, but I just haven't put
That's
it
really
down on paper
interesting.
yet and stuff. So, but
Fun.
yeah.
Well, and what if you revisit your assassin idea, but it's not an assassin that this secret identity is, but something
Oh,
even wilder or more outre or,
yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because I just it annoyed me when I saw that movie. It wasn't the girl from the Big Bang Theory. Her husband is this nerdy guy, and I said, wait a minute, that's my plot. And
Oh no.
yeah, it's like
Or just add one more twist, right? Just
yeah,
add one
yeah.
more
Oh, okay. Okay.
twist.
Well, thank you. Do you guys have anything else to add? Anything else you want to promote stuff? Because we have 6
Six.
minutes left. So you have 6 minutes if
Minutes.
you want anything to add and stuff. And tell me about your next thing that's coming up, like Texas. Where is it going to be at?
Oh, it's going to be in Irving, Texas. It will be, let's see, there's on Friday, this Friday, the 27th, or is it 28th. I can't, anyway, this Friday, there's
Was
Educators
that
Day. So
soon?
that's going to be,
Oh
yeah, it's going to be
boy.
with educators, adults. And then the Saturday, which I think is March 1st, is going to be a free day for kids and their families to come. I think there's going to be like over 70 different authors and illustrators who'll be there.
Oh,
And there'll be like panels and talks and author signings, and you can buy books there. So yeah, it's going to be a blast. So I'm really excited for that.
oh, cool, cool, cool.
That
Okay.
sounds great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. And
Yeah.
Laura, since you did a mural, where is it?
Um, the easiest one that I know is in good condition to see is here in Santa Cruz up at Westlake Elementary School. So
Oh,
if anyone is in Santa Cruz and feels like going up there, they'll see a very large dragon right as they drive up the entryway to the school past High Street.
okay.
So that's the easiest one to see.
Oh, I
Um,
know because schools are more um, intent on safety. Can you
mhm.
see the mural without
Yes,
going in school grounds, I guess,
you
or
can, and you can also, yeah, the short answer is yes. If you walk up on the sidewalk next to it, you can actually see it from down on the street. And it's also right by their parking lot. So if you were to just drive and do a loop in the parking lot, back out, I don't think anyone would panic.
oh, okay. Oh, okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
well,
you can see it from the street. It's not hard to see.
okay. Well, thank you both and stuff. So.